Yo, what up YouTube? It's your boy Joe for Show, and in today's video I'll be showing you my two builds that I use for Ultimate Valby. The first build is my mobbing build that I use to farm materials, activities, or even dungeons for patterns. The second build is my boss build that I use for solo play or group play. Now with that out of the way, let's talk about Ultimate Valby versus regular Valby. When it comes to regular Valby versus Ultimate Valby, they are very similar. The only thing that really stands out is Ultimate Valby has a little bit more defense, max shield, and max HP, and obviously exclusive Transcendence mod. But both of my builds, I use neither of those Transcendence mod, and they both work with regular Valby. With all that out of the way, let's jump straight into the video and talk about these builds. The first build that we are going to talk about is the mobbing build, and the two main abilities that I use for ad clearing is Plop Plop and Cleanup. What I really like about these two abilities is that you can stack them on top of each other to do even more damage against enemies. Let me demonstrate to you what I'm talking about. So first we're going to use the Plop Plop ability. They're going to be getting hit by the Plop Plop. Now we're going to use Cleanup, and as you can see, after we get done using the ability, they are getting hit for much more damage. You can also add on more to it, do another Cleanup if you want. You do Bubble Bullet or even another Plop Plop. It will just keep going on and on and on as long as the enemy is alive. One thing to keep in mind when you are using Valby's abilities, the Plop Plop and the Cleanup, the water on the floor that gets left from them do different damage. As you can see, Cleanup does 108 a tick, but Plop Plop, it does 50. So keep that in mind. If you see your numbers are doing less, don't worry, that's just how the abilities work. Now let's talk about the modules that I use. The first one is Supply Moisture. The reason why is, as you can see, while on water from your abilities, you get an increased firearm critical hit rate and skill critical hit rate and skill duration that is broken and insane. Now let me show you how much the increase is. So as you can see, my Thunder Cage only has 33 crit hit rate, while my skills only have a 10%. And as of right now, we are not standing on water, but after we use our ability, you will see the increase from 33 to 66 and from 10% to 53. The next module on the list is your sub module slot. This one is all personal preference. I like to use long distance, use whatever feels comfortable for you. Our next mod is Skill Insight, so I can have more skill critical hit rate, Skill Concentration for more skill critical hit damage, Focus on non-attribute, and Focus on dimension. Now you can swap these two out for the blue dimension specialist and the blue non-attribute, but I prefer these two because of the cooldown. Our other mod is MP Conversion for more skill duration. We do get a little bit less MP, but it's really not an issue. Our other mod is Skill Extension. We want that skill duration so the water can last longer on the floor. We use Skill Expansion for the skill effect range so we can cover more area with the water from our abilities. Increase HP and Spear and Shield. Now I use this one over RN Defense because for her two abilities, Plop Plop and Cleanup, skill power gives you more damage than skill power modifier. Our last mod is Decimator. This one is hands down must have for your build. You're going to constantly kill enemies and you're constantly have stacks and you will be doing more damage. Now you can replace this if you want for front lines for more skill critical hit damage, but I feel like this one is mandatory. Now for your reactor, you want an ultimate reactor so you can do more damage, and the two stats at the bottom, you want one to say skill critical hit damage and skill cost. Those two in my opinion are the best, but if you don't get skill cost, you can use skill cooldown or skill duration. They will work just as fine, but the first two I said I feel like is the best for your reactor. Now for your components, I do run two annihilation set just so I can have more duration, and then I use these two regular ones because they really have good stats and they help my build be really tanky. As you can see, I have 26,000 defense with 10,000 HP, which I love and I feel is a sweet spot. Now your weapon of choice, it's really up to you as long as it matches your ultimate reactor. And if you are not using an ultimate reactor, that's perfectly fine. You can still use Eternal Willpower or Tamer if you want. Yes, I said Tamer. Let them know. If you ain't taming, you ain't gaming. Now let's get into our next build, which is my boss build. The first mod we are going to talk about is Supply Moisture. I am using this again for increased firearm critical hit rate. This build is all about weapon damage and not ability damage. Our next mod is again your sub module. Use whatever feels comfortable for you. The next mod is Shot Focus. I'm using this for more weapon damage. Skill extension, so my water can last longer on the floor, so I can crit the boss more. Time distribution for more skill cooldown and HP. R and defense, just using it mainly for more defense. For the blue increased defense, blue increased HP, and stim accelerant for more HP. The negative MP doesn't matter, it will not affect you. If you are wondering why I use 2 HP mods and 2 defense mods, it is because I like to be tanky. I don't like to be squishy or a glass cannon. That's just not my playstyle. As you can see, I have 49,000 defense and 20,000 HP. Now, what's nice about the way my catalyst is slotted for my mods, I'm allowed to throw on a perfect venom, so I get poison immunity if I want, or we can throw on anti-freeze for Frostwalker, an insulated conductor for executioner, or heat relief for pyro. What I really like about these two builds is you come to the farming one, you see how I have all the modules slotted with the catalyst. It doesn't really affect my boss build. They work perfectly fine, and like I said earlier, I have enough space to add on anything I want. Now let me show you a quick gameplay video of me using my boss build. Now when it comes to your reactor, you can use whatever you want. It does not need to match or anything because you're not using your abilities for damage. I use this one because it's 2-stat at the bottom. I got skill cost, skill duration up, which allows me to use my abilities more, so I can have water on the floor so I can do more crit damage with my weapon. When it comes to my components, I am using the same 4-piece that I was using on my mobbing build that I showed you earlier. Now when it comes to your weapon of choice, use whatever you want. There's not really a gun that you have to use with this build. I personally use Enduring Legacy because I am a light machine gun fan. I really love this gun, it just feels awesome to me. But you can't use Thunder Cage, Eternal Willpower, or even Tamer. If you are using Tamer though, try to upgrade to the Thunder Cage, Enduring Legacy, or Willpower. They are better gun than Tamer, but there's nothing wrong with using Tamer. It is a solid gun, but there are better guns. If you could do me one favor before you exit the video, please comment down below and let me know how my mic quality sound. I am using a budget mic. I want your guys' feedback. It will help me improve and get better at making video for y'all. So please, if you could do that for me, I would really appreciate it a lot. And thank you for watching.